I've got some exciting new projects to work on. Last week, a man named Maurice, who is a member of one of the Facebook watch repair groups and one of the Facebook photography groups that I belong to, offered to send me several old watches that I could have and that I could work on to practice with. Just like me, he's a photographer and a watch collector, and he sent me four really beautiful old pocket watches and a wristwatch too that I can work on. All of them need to be serviced, and all of them are in really beautiful condition. I think they're going to be really cool once I get them taken apart and cleaned and re-lubricated and reassembled. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Let's take a look at what we got. In addition to the watches, he also sent me a hardcover edition of the 4th edition of Henry Freed's Watch Repairer's Manual. This is one of the best books that there is on watch repair, and it was written back in the 1950s. The original version of it was, and this is a version that was an update made in the 1980s. I have actually the 2nd edition of it in paperback that I bought from Amazon. I didn't know there was a 4th edition until later on. And the 4th edition is actually really hard to come by. I don't think it's in print anymore. And this one has several chapters that the 2nd edition doesn't have, so I'm really excited to have this also. Okay, first up is this really beautiful Elgin. This has a nice thin case. The back of it screws on. I unscrewed the back earlier and looked at the inside of it. And let's see if we can take it off here and look at the mechanism. Yeah, there's the mechanism inside. I wound it up, but it's not wanting to tick. I don't know if the hairspring is disconnected from the balance wheel or if there's a problem with the mainspring. I'm gonna have to disassemble to figure this out, but this one I think is gonna be the one I work on first. The movement looks like it's in beautiful condition. It's nice and clean looking. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to work on. The next 3 watches are all Waltham watches, and this one is absolutely beautiful. I love the dial on this. I don't know how to get the back of it open yet. I'm going to have to do some checking on that because it looks like it has a hinged back, but the back doesn't want to come open. But I just love the dial on this one. This one I think is going to be a lot of fun to have too in my collection. Here's another Waltham. Now this one here is a real monster. This thing is huge. It is a lot larger than the other watches, like to compare in size to the first Waltham we looked at. Look how thick that is. And this thing weighs a ton. Now this one here actually is functional. If I wind it up, it does tick and the second hand moves, but the winding is kind of rough on it, so I'm not going to wind it. I didn't want to wind it very much and take the risk of damaging it. So we'll save that for when I work on it. And I'm not sure how to get the back on this one open. I believe it unscrews, but that's something I'll explore once I start working on it. But this one is a beautiful watch too. I think this one's a lot older than the first two. And as I said, it's a real monster. This thing would put a big weight in your pocket. The last pocket watch we have, this is another Waltham, and this is a really early one compared to the others. This one actually has a, let's see if I can get this to come open. There we go. This one actually is wound with a key. You don't wind this one by turning the crown like you do on a newer pocket watch. You stick a key, just like a clock, into the back there and turn that to wind it. And so this is if you work on modern watches, you know that the mechanism that switches between winding mode and time setting mode on the watch's crown is called the keyless works. And the reason it's called the keyless works is because modern watches don't use keys and older ones did. So this is a very, very old watch. I don't know much about these yet. I need to do some research on how old they are and when they were made and such, but I think this is a really cool old watch. The front of it also is hinged, and the front cover has this beautiful pattern on it. And there's the inside of it. Very beautiful design. Just like the last one we looked at, this one is another one that's very, very large. This one is a real big, heavy monster of a watch, just like the other one here. Actually, it looks like it might be a little bit. It's about the same size. Big, beautiful old pocket watch. I'm going to try to restore all 4 of these eventually, starting, I think, with the Elgin watch. And I think these are going to be wonderful additions to my collection. So thank you, Maurice. I really appreciate this gift. This is awesome. I almost forgot we got a wristwatch, too. This is something that I've never seen before. This is an Andre Bouchard wristwatch. I had to do some research on this because I'd never seen one before. Apparently this was the store brand for a department store called E.J. Corvettes that operated in the United States up into the 1970s. The watch itself says it's Swiss made, has a 17 jewel movement with Inca block shock protection. I put it on the time grapher because this one here actually wound up perfectly normally and is running, looks like it's running pretty well, but it is running really slow according to the time grapher, so it's going to need to be taken apart and cleaned as well. This one is going to need a crystal too. The crystal is really milky looking, and I'm not sure if that's because there's something dirty on the inside of it or if it's just the crystal's just gone bad. It's an acrylic crystal. I may just have to replace that, but that's not a big deal because those acrylic crystals are easy to obtain. But this one's one that I'm going to restore as well. I'll get a band for it and wear it once I get it restored. I decided to take the back off the Andre Bouchard watch because I wanted to see what kind of movement it had in it. This is interesting. It's got a movement marked Hyde Park Watch Company, and the regulator is set way over to the minus side, which explains partially why it's running so slow. I wonder how it would run if I reset it back to normal. But it's got a beautiful movement, so I think this will be a great watch to work on as well. Yeah, there you can see the name on it. Hyde Park Watch Company. That's a Swiss-made movement too. Now you can see the regulator, how it's moved over to the minus. So yeah, these are going to be a lot of fun. Thank you again, Maurice. I really appreciate it.